time for another podcast. All right, today our topic is Agni. In Ayurveda, disease and imbalance starts with an imbalanced Agni. That means what we are eating, what we are digesting is dictating our future imbalances or health. So what does it mean? Let's start with Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Vaishvanaru Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritaha Prana Apana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. In chapter 15, verse 14, Shri Krishna says that I am Vaishvanara. I myself am the Agni. So Agni is manifestation of the divine. Praninam Dehamashritaha. Any person who has prana, any entity who has prana, not just human beings, animals, insects, birds, fish, any creatures that live in the sea, all of them have Agni. So Agni is dictating how we are digesting our food. And all of us have doshas. And two sub-doshas are given in here, prana and apana. And he also talks about 4 types of textures of food that we digest. Pachami annam chaturvidam. So what exactly is this Agni and why is it so important to Ayurveda practitioners? So basically, think of your stomach as a pot, and think when you are eating food, think of the digestive enzymes in your stomach as the let's say boiling water if you're making rice, for instance, and think of the fire is what's making that water boil. Or another example that can be given is Agni is what's making the enzymes work. So the enzymes, the acid, the bile, all of the production of things that transform food is happening because of the Agni. Think of a conventional car, not an electric. And even if you have a full tank of gas in the car, if you cannot ignite it, if there's no ignition, then you cannot transform the fuel into energy and make the car run. So Agni, think of Agni as ignition, igneous, the same root word. So without that ignition, the pitta in the body cannot produce bile or acid or digestive enzymes that will actually transform the food that we are eating. So there's 4 types of Agni in Ayurveda. There are 4 states of Agni, and this Agni that I'm talking about at this minute is the same Agni that Krishna was talking about, Aham Vaishvanara, is the main Agni in the body. It is called Jataragni. This Jataragni can exist in 4 states. Basically, if someone has a very balanced Agni, then they're called Samagni. It's a balanced Agni. Whatever they're eating, they're able to digest. There's no problem. Then Kapha type of people might have Mand Agni, meaning their Agni is dull and slow. And Pitta type people might have Tikshna Agni, meaning they have strong, intense Agni. What does that mean? That means they have a sharp appetite. They may have acid reflux. They have 3 to 4 bowel movements. Then Vata type people might have Vishama Agni, meaning they have irregular functioning Agni. And such people may have constipation, dry skin, flatulence, bloating, and bowel movement is 1 or less. So this is all the 4 states of your main Agni that we're talking about in this podcast. There's a lot more Agnis in the body that do a lot more stuff. You have Bhut Agnis in the liver, you have Dhatava Agnis and so on, but we're not talking about those in this particular podcast. So what is the function of Agni in Ayurveda? Why is it so important? So let's look at a verse, and this is the function of Agni that is described. Ayu varano balam swastya utsaha upchareyo prabha ojas tejo agneya pranashchokta dehagni hetuka. What does that mean? So it means that the functions of Agni in the body is it gives us life. Our skin color, the skin is maintained by it's called varna, is the glow on the skin is maintained by Agni. Strength, swastya, it promotes and supports health. Utsaha means enthusiasm. Upchaya means physical body, physical build. Prabha is a luster of the skin. Ojas is immunity, prana is vitality, and agneya, I said there's other agnis like bhuta agnis, and all of these agnis in the body from an Ayurvedic perspective. The main agni, which is the Jatra Agni, is giving strength to everything else. So what happens when Agni is not balanced? Let's say a person is eating organic food and they're eating all 100% right. So if you look at the underlying principle of Agni, it's not just what you eat, but what you digest. And what helps you digest the food? You might be eating organic food, but if you're not digesting it, that organic food, the indigested part of that organic, beautiful, lovely food that you're eating is going to become ama, or toxic byproduct. So what does that mean? This means that Agni helps us. If our Agni is not strong, if you're not feeling well, we should not really be eating a lot of heavy duty foods. In Ayurveda, there's a concept called ama, and when I talk to my clients, I also say toxic byproducts. But really, ama is like an undigested food molecule, and when we eat food, it gets all mixed up with mucus, and it becomes a bolus called kail. We call it ahar rasa. And then as it moves down the intestines, all the nutrition is absorbed, and then this is what the Agni is doing, right? But when things are not absorbed, and those undigested food molecules end up like sticking to your body parts, they give rise to these toxic byproducts called ama. And when someone has that, they might have a tongue that is sticky, and it has these coating, which is very like a whitish coating. They might have a foul smell. And because when we have ama circulating in our body, then we might not be sweating, or if we do sweat, it might have a very fleshy smell. Yeah. So I just want to a little bit touch on Bhuta Agnis. So Ayurveda believes everything that we eat is made up of the 5 Panchamahabhutas. And these 5 building blocks of life are space, air, water, fire, and earth. Just to give you an example, if you're eating a lot of beans, remember what beans give you. Beans can give you, or you're eating a lot of raw foods. This is made of space and air. If you're eating a lot of watermelon, for instance, or a lot of fats, we consider that's made of water. If you're eating a lot of chili pepper, or hot pungent things, that is made up of fire. If you're eating, let's say, jackfruit or whole grains and whatnot, they are made up of earth. So whatever we're eating, that also has to get broken down by the body. And whatever we eat, when it gets broken down into 5 elements, it's called Bhutagni, which is, I'm not going to get into it. And then we have 7 tissues, and so any transformation that's taking place in the body, something goes in, it becomes something else. Whether it's at the cellular level, whether it's at even a mental level, like you had an idea and you're converting your idea and your vision into an actuality, you're visualizing it and then you're making it happen. That is because of Agni, that's because of Pitta. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. It's a very, very quick introduction to Agni. Thank you.